Stadium in Port-au-Prince. On Monday, March 29th, aid was distributed to nearly 1,500 households and 285 cases were treated at the free clinic. On Tuesday, around 1,365 households received aid. In addition, local residents are being trained as volunteers. In the first of today's reports from Haiti, we follow volunteers surveying damage at Forhad Elementary School. Because of its location near a tent camp, the number of students at the school has swelled to 150.
The floors of this school are sandwiched together. In the disaster area of Haiti, the weak school buildings could not survive the tremor. The higher they were, the faster they fell. This painting shows the school before the quake. It's a very different picture today.
Looking at this wall, you can guess this is an elementary school. After it was destroyed in the quake, all the students have to cram together to have class. In this tiny classroom, which is actually the kindergarten, you can see almost 40 children. They're sitting so tightly together, I don't know how they can study.
A broken light fixture hangs from the tin roof. In theory, there are 3 classrooms here, but they're only separated by a blackboard. It's crowded, hot and noisy.
Before the earthquake, there weren't so many students and I could learn more things.
In the aftermath of the quake, many of the children live in a nearby tent camp with their parents. 150 children from the camp are all packed into this school. The teachers can do very little.
We haven't officially started class. We let the children come to the school to sing and pray and comfort their insecurity.
The 10 teachers turned up at the school on their own initiative. Although they are not being paid, they hope the damaged school can be a shelter for the children, 1/3 of whom were orphaned by the quake.
Because the children are still in class, it was the principal who took us to the orphans' tent. Inside the small tent, 2 adults and 3 children sleep on 2 beds. If the children want to do homework, there's no table, only a chair for them to lean on.
After both parents died in the quake, the children share a tent with their foster family.
This tent camp is just one of the needy corners of Port-au-Prince. People can start their lives again and buildings can be rebuilt, but it will all take time.
The Tzu Free Clinic team in Haiti is building a growing reputation. Earlier this week, doctors working in cooperation with an aid distribution at the soccer stadium started at 7 o'clock in the morning to meet demand. One patient who had suffered years of pain said he was cured by the Chinese doctor.
Sitting calmly while needles are pushed into his head, this patient put his trust in the doctor. For 14 years, the man suffered pain that made him shake until he met Dr. Liao.
The shivering completely stopped. A lot of people were watching, people waiting to be seen. They all saw and put their thumbs up. Then he walked home himself. Just now a patient said they saw him playing around in the afternoon.
At the National Soccer Stadium in Port-au-Prince, the Chinese medical doctor listens intently to the patient before administering treatment.
Haitian people can't clearly describe where they're hurting, so we have to use precise questions to ask them. For example, if they have a headache, I ask if the pain is on the side, the front, the back, or all over. That way it'll be more accurate.
Tima doctors at the Tzu Free Clinic have one goal: to offer residents some relief from their suffering.
A total of 18 Brazilian peacekeepers were killed in the Haitian earthquake, more than any other foreign country. But the Brazilian force has stayed on. Among their many duties, the soldiers guard Tzu's aid distribution. As a way of saying thank you, recently the volunteers invited the Brazilian peacekeepers and embassy staff to dinner. The evening was a mixture of Chinese food, Asian hospitality and Western culture.
Using instant rice as a base and skillfully combining it with other ingredients, even in Haiti, volunteers find a way to cook a Chinese banquet. Brazilian embassy staff and peacekeepers have been working together with Tzu volunteers in Haiti. Tonight's dinner has an East meets West atmosphere.
Different culture, different religion, but we have only one belief, and that's love, the great love.
The people who is maybe a little different than us, maybe a people who needs us a little more. Then we think we came here for help the people, and we only left this country when this country could walk alone.
An elegant sign language song is performed by the graceful ambassador and the rough and ready soldiers. Reciprocating the hospitality, this time Brazilian peacekeepers welcomed Tzu volunteers to their camp.
We worked with Sushi before, and it seemed to be a very well-organized organization and with very careful and good-willing people, and it was a very nice and beautiful event.
The Brazilian peacekeeping force is willing to send 50 soldiers to the Tzu distribution to maintain order. Hand in hand, the partners hope they'll be able to help the people of Haiti.
In our next story, we introduce you to a Malaysian family of 4 who became vegetarians after subscribing to Da ITV. Like changing the channels, a habit